It's the late 2010s. I've reached levels of crustiness that would baffle even medical professionals. In between watching content that probably got me placed on a watch list and will be used against me in court one day, I'll give in to my favorite virtual indulgence, vloggers, who normally fell into one of two categories. The feather-like creators glamorously nibbling on avocados, who I lived vicariously through, under the delusion that one day, when I was in my 20s, things would get better. The other category of vlogger is more genuinely relatable, sometimes uncomfortably so. They are quirky, goofy even. They drill farts into their Snuggie and reach out to strangers just to feel some warmth, just like me. I finally feel seen. Some of these girlies move on to even bougier lifestyles that Soviets would have used as an example of Western decadence. Good for them, honestly, I can't even hate. Others just disappeared. Whatever happened to them? Hello, my dudes. That was a terrible Joanna impression. Welcome back to my YouTuber retrospective series. Can we give a moment for the hair? Hey! It actually came out looking pretty good. This is all of it, by the way. I pushed all of it to the front. Okay, I'm bald in the back. And don't zoom in, because you'll see that I have several gray hairs. This episode will be delving into Joana Ceddia, a vlogger that I remember very fondly. And I know a lot of y'all clicked on this because you also were thinking, whatever happened to this avocado muncher? When I found out the answer, it was not initially what I expected. You'll see what I mean. Now, keep in mind, her channel and all her socials have been scrubbed. So I've pieced together the timeline and career based on archive channels, my own memory, alongside some other sources. So cut your girl some slack because I do not have the full Rosetta Stone. Let's delve into it. Born June 21st, 2001, in body dysmorphia-inducing Rio de Janeiro, Joanna was raised in exotic Toronto, Canada.
What I don't like is if the business is true, that you left your moms in the hood, somebody go smoke that youth.
Her mama, Denilce Campos, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, lovingly referred to as Mother Goose, was a former gymnast slash acrobat, winning 2 gold medals in team all-around at the South American Artistic Gymnastics Championships. Let's go, Mother Goose! I love tweaker aerobics. If I could do this, I'd force people to watch me at house parties. I'd lock all the exits beforehand, too. Her father, Ronaldo Ceddia, is an associate professor at the School of Kinesiology and Health Science at York University. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that. I know what the word means, okay? But I've never had to read the specific study of it out loud. I think I'm getting dumber, but it's okay because my hair is getting better. Joanna carried on her family tradition of being disrespectfully athletic by doing multiple sports at her school, even becoming an OFSAA gold medalist in swimming. But after suffering an injury that put her competitive running on pause, she created her YouTube channel in 2018, where she just initially wanted to show off her sick art. Speaking as someone who's a bit artsy myself, showing off your wrist flicking skills to the unwashed and untalented masses is the backbone of the artistic community, okay? Her channel was very much in the spirit of old school YouTube. Just a teen goofing.
Me just see your Ari. If they test me, they sorry. Riders up like a hurry and pull up in this Ferrari.
What's up, my dudes? So this morning I woke up and I'm like, I really want a pizza.
To commemorate 100 subscribers, she made 100 malnourished little cookies. She only had a handful of videos when she uploaded her How to DIY Emma Chamberlain's merch video in August of 2018. To say that this video unexpectedly blew up would be an understatement. Now, a lot of y'all who are around my age will remember that at the time, Emma Chamberlain was the relatable it girl of that era, waterboarding herself with iced coffee in her Prius. By like mid-2018, she had started spending some of her newly acquired guap on like Gucci products and fanny packs and stuff. I don't know how I would be acting if I was rich and famous and skinty at age 17. And I don't think that Emma was trying to rub that she was in a new tax bracket in her broke fans' faces. I mean, she wasn't going, about to land in Dubai. How's that SAT prep coming? Make sure to submit your FAFSA info on time. Thank you. It's not underage drinking if you're in the sky. If she had done that, I actually would have subscribed. So Emma was entering a slightly more bougie era at the time, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially now that she's fully transitioned into a businesswoman and, like a fashion girl, good for her. Which is, I mean, kind kind of the dream career transition for someone who was in this specific category. However, at the time, a lot of her fans were starting to not find her as relatable. So when she came out with a merch drop that featured pixelated items and 3 like plain scrunchies being sold for $25, yeah, people were not happy. Because of this first viral upload and the fact that both were under the quirky Yakubian umbrella, but like so is Bjork, the label is fairly vague and broad, they would get compared to each other a lot, at least initially.
There was this big wave of like teenage YouTubers, like the Emma Chamberlains of YouTube. You can tell at the beginning they were like really similar, and then she just went in a completely different direction.
With some even framing Joanna as the new Emma, albeit a slightly more relatable version now. But looking back, this comparison doesn't really make sense. Their humor and style of videos, as well as the kind of content that they made, was different. Not better or worse, but different. Okay, tangent over. Apparently, Joanna was thinking of posting an Aquaman parody, but then decided to make this video instead, and the rest is history. She had reached 100K subscribers by September 11. Wow, Joanna.
Are you forget what happened at 11 September?
Her channel grew fast. Too fast, some speculated. Hey Vsauce, Michael here. Yeah, there was no actual evidence to confirm this conspiracy. Her views and engagement were matching up with her sub count, so she was not buying followers. She had just won the algorithmic lottery, and what's important is that she remained consistent in terms of her uploads. Now, she was very random and quirky, but in a way that a lot of people found endearing as opposed to overbearing. She was very unscripted, featured a lot of quick-witted voiceovers, just enough brain rot to be able to sprinkle in a meme or reference when appropriate.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Her content from 2018 to 2019 was very teen/high school centric. Joanna fell into what I like to call cozy sweater content. Not just because that's how her vlogs made me feel, like you were all snuggled up, chatting with your well-rounded, overachieving cousin on FaceTime. The mundane nature of her daily routines, which were actually very similar to how her viewers were living, albeit healthier. So she was relatable, but her life was still technically aspirational. She was a good student, athletic, artistic, funny, had a really adorable dynamic with her stable family, wanted to get into a good university. She almost represented an attainable best version of yourself, you know? While many influencers' vlogs just made me want to commit seppuku, because I'm never gonna live or look like this, Joanna would inspire me to, you know, like redecorate my room and finish my AP English lit paper. Plus, you know, she's a cutie patootie, so all of these factors allowed her to have mass appeal. Her content consisted of the classics: A Week in My Life, being haunted by the Miami cryptid Pitbull, room tours.
It's my terrarium. Look, it lights up. Am I aesthetic yet? I dig this right out of the stomach of Pinterest, and I am low-key proud of how it turned out.
Flexing her sick, gravity-defying hairstyles, channeling one's mental illness and hyperfixating personality on redecorating your room until it looks just right, but only for 3 months. She'd be working on her fitness. Oftentimes alongside her parents, which was just very adorable. She would also do the occasional DIY, but she really just posted whatever she wanted to, documenting her self-inflicted torture and other enhanced interrogation techniques. Cat piss Everdeen still makes me laugh. She'd also make self-portraits. I don't know what kind of a narcissist would make a giant self-portrait of themselves. I would say what distinguished her from a lot of other vloggers was also just how much art-related content she would make, like her following a Bob Ross painting tutorial, but always with her own twist. Okay, some Joanna lore. She loves avocados. She'd make this concoction called bootleg mac and cheese, which I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wanna try. Due to her name, she would jokingly refer to herself as John Cena. Aesthetically, her pink sunglasses overlapping with her regular glasses, and a tiny microphone were her signature accessories. Clothing-wise, she was Aritzia'd up, looking like a pre-Benghazi Hillary Clinton. Joanna was a practical gal, like she was even tutoring on the side for extra money. Her YouTube success was unexpected, and she was still planning on going to university. She was realistic and just did not expect YouTube to be her full-time future gig. So 2018 was quite the year for her. She was a finalist for Best YouTube Comedian at the Shorty Awards that year, and by 2019, she was nominated for Breakout Creator at the Streamy Awards. She was given the honor of being featured on the Fine Bros Content Factory Farm Teens React, and was featured in a Mashable article. She even got interviewed by Anthony Padilla in his post-Smosh metrosexual emo Barbara Walters era. John Cena reached 1 million subscribers by 2019, and she commemorated this milestone by doing a more advanced version of what she had done previously, baking not technically 1 million, but a lot of teeny little cookies for her 1 million subscribers. These were the perfect size for flinging at local birds. It's fine, they deserve it. She was still acting a fool.
The mitochondria is not the powerhouse of the cell. I am.
She was a second semester senior at this point, so the senioritis was really kicking in. But she leaned into this and she'd post study with me's, which, I mean, if you were an AP or IB student in particular, these might give you PTSD flashbacks. Her next series of videos to really blow up sparked quite the aesthetic journey, with the shackles of high school finally off. During the summer of 2019, she let her intrusive thoughts win and cut off her hair with craft scissors. The YouTuber Brad Mondo crawled out of the white abyss from which all coastal hairstylists emerge and reacted to her Catwoman moment. She responded back, and then he reacted to that response, and she eventually just went full-on peroxide Eminem and bleached her hair. At this point, Brad stepped up and was like, I have to save this girl from herself, and he styled her hair. A very memorable post-hair transformation video, at least for me, was this family vlog where they went to go and visit her grandmother in Brazil. To this day, this video is just such a cute little comfort watch. Her family is so adorable, and they're always awkward smiling at the camera. When I tell you that her videos featuring her family are calling me fat and unhealthy in like 3 separate languages. They're always like working out together, and this vlog was no exception. They were pumping iron, eating flesh together as a familial unit. That fall, she began attending university in Toronto, but she was still living at home. That is the practical immigrant in her.
It's the first day of university. No longer am I a pesky high school student. I'm officially a victim of capitalism. Cheers.
She was studying physics as her kind of major. I don't know what they call it in Canada. Ugh, they probably refer to it as like her concentration. You're not better than us. I'm getting off topic. Her course load also included chemistry, calculus, and algebra. Oy. She would continue doing a week in my life videos, university edition. She got some tiny feathered creatures, 4 of which she kept. Quentin,
Dula Peep,
Quincy, and Quigley, who were rightfully caged like the beasts that they are. Joanna continued her tradition of giving herself ridiculous, labor-intensive last-minute art projects, like this wall mural. If you are an artistic individual, or just a masochist, same thing really, you will understand the impulsive need to make something. In 2020, she celebrated Mother Goose's birthday by attempting to make an avocado cake. She kind of messed up the recipe, especially the icing, but look, it happens, okay? She would still upload random, hyperfixation pieces, like this delve into the K-pop phenomenon. In March of that year, she shaved her head just in time for the mental health collapse of quarantine. She really just felt like doing it. There wasn't a particular reason behind it. This look is what I like to call, oh, I'm not waiting in line at Disneyland anymore, baby. Her quarantine era uploads were just as chaotic as you'd expect. She was doing art with nail polish this time. If you don't open those windows, those fumes, they'll get you somewhere. Redecorated her room again, caught up on classic literature. She would continue her Making This Project a Year Later series. Joanna took a bit of a break around September of that year, and in November, she came back from the dead, hence the haunting face paint in this video. This is the face that peeks at you from behind your blinds at night. If you're watching this while trying to go to sleep, my apologies. I'm just kidding. I'm not sorry. She would address the real reason behind her absence, but for this comeback, she painted the birth of Venus on a self-made canvas. She then dipped again until January of 2021, and people were wondering where she was at, but she said that she was just working on a project, which this time around was this very intricate family portrait. In February of that year, Joanna finally opened up to the real reason that things had felt a little off to her fans for the past 6 months. months and why her uploads were not as consistent. Her eczema, which she would joke about on occasion, had flared up pretty horrifically the past few months. She had been prescribed topical steroid cream for, like 15 years basically, which had kept her eczema at bay. But in August of 2020, the creams stopped working. And her doctor just straight up told her, I don't know, just put more on.
But ma'am, I told you, like, they literally stopped working. That's just counterintuitive. Put more steroid creams on it! To make a long story short, my visit to the doctor was pretty disappointing. I mean, she essentially just kind of dismissed my symptoms, and I was essentially left to fend for myself.
But because she was on the creams for so long, her body stopped producing the hormones that would have naturally regulated the eczema. She developed dermatitis, which is one of the symptoms of topical steroid withdrawal, which led her to suspect that her body had just grown resistant to the creams. So she decided, well, I'm already in withdrawal, let me get off the prescription. But her flare-up after the withdrawal, which occurred in October, got so bad that she had to drop out of university. Her skin was so constantly itchy that she couldn't even sleep properly. Sweat irritated her skin. It hurt just to move. So she really couldn't move around that much. She couldn't exercise. Even just wearing her glasses would irritate the skin behind her ears. I can't even show you some of the images that she provided because they are straight up like open wounds around her joints, obviously, where her skin would be moving. I can't even imagine having to go through this, and honestly, my heart goes out to her. She would upload occasionally in 2021, but obviously taking care of her health was her main priority. She opened up later about her eczema getting even worse in February of that year, but she always still covered the topic with her usual sense of humor.
You say you're obsessed with me, so I took a second and I said me too.
What's even more concerning is that during this time, she became addicted to dance moms.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go to Baskin Robbins.
Just shoot right there. We're going to have to speed up a little. He's zooming, dude.
By the summer of 2021, she did say that at that point, light exercise was now feasible. She was experimenting around and readjusting her diet, cutting out sugar, gluten, anything that was inflammatory, which she said aided in rebalancing her hormones. She even had like a little makeshift kitchen in her room for convenience. And it kind of sucks that anytime you talk about trying to naturally heal yourself, you have to put all these disclaimers because people in the comment section can be annoying. But she said that she was literally just trying anything to try and naturally heal herself, which, I mean, I can understand her desperation at this point. And she did say that these changes were helping her skin improve. She did have to get rid of the quails because, well, they were too much of an infection risk because she had partially open wounds. But don't worry, okay, they were taken in by some farmer friends, which I know that sounds fake, okay, but I mean, I believe her. She wouldn't have sold them at Ren Fair like I would have. By June of 2021, she was using the YouTube community tab to be, a modern day Socrates. So her skin was beginning to improve. She was getting back into her normal routine. Baking in the sun apparently was helping. Joanna did say that once she'd healed, she did plan on going back to school. And at this point, the girl was craving that sweet independence. She wanted to finally move out on her own, actually get a driver's license, even though she was really rocking being a passenger princess. She was still goofing, acting a fool, showing off her newly acquired sick shoe collection.
For them to be tweeting right now, I'm playing the victim. I am the fucking victim. I'm not going to expose your private DMs. I'm not going to expose what people have told me you've said behind the scenes. I'm not going to show you the facts and the evidence because I'm 29 years old. And I'm not going to sit down and make a video with screenshots exposing my bullies. These are bullies. These are high school bullies.
She had recently disabled the subscriber count because she said that she didn't like the stress of seeing that number either go up or down. Eventually, she stated that she just didn't care about channel growth anymore. She expressed her desire to go full Krasinski by going off the grid and having her own remote place in the woods, not by writing manifestos and, sending people little surprises in the mail. Or maybe she did, actually. I don't know. I love seeing a woman in male-dominated fields. In one of the last videos that she uploaded, Joanna felt like the worst of her flare-ups were fortunately behind her, and she did say she wanted to be a bit more consistent with uploads, but most of all, she expressed a lot of gratitude to her subscribers and the people that had been supporting her and showing her love for the past 3 years.
Again, I can't even begin to thank all of you for the insane amount of patience and incredible amount of support you've given me over these past 9 months. You guys still care enough to tune in whenever I post a video, and that means so much to me.
As of 2021, her YouTube channel had accumulated over 3 million subscribers. In October of that year, she deleted all of her socials, which most importantly included her channel, because I recall looking her up years ago, like cereal bowl in hand, as she was gone. I don't recall if this was all like, you know, a one-day mass delete of all her socials, but regardless, her actual main channel, she gone. There have been no confirmed updates or posts regarding her life that I could find. It seems like she just does not want people to know what she's up to these past few years, which makes perfect sense. As of 2025, she is completely off the virtual grid, at least publicly, and I hope that she is healthy and the worst of her eczema is behind her and she's thriving, because I'm not gonna, she was like legit one of the most delightful vloggers that I remember from that era, and it does make you grateful, you know, to have certain aspects of your health. Her career online was very short-lived, actually. Now that I think about it, it was like collectively like 3 years and a few months. She really represented a bygone era of YouTube, and for that, Joanna, I salute you. If you want me to cover any YouTuber of this era or just any virtual star, I got a few other people cooking up, please let me know in the comment section down below. Who are you watching? Who in this specific sphere are you curious about that you want me to do a deep dive into? Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me a little secret in the comment section if you were not watching anyone during that time period. Also, if you want to check out other people that I've covered, there is a full playlist, multiple playlists actually, on my channel, because sometimes people are like, you should cover this person and whatnot, and it turns out I've already done a full retrospective on them. So please check out my playlists on my channel, and as always, thank you for watching. Shout out to my top patrons. If you would like to donate to my Patreon, please click on the link in the description or on screen. Thank you to my other lovely patrons. Your names should be scrolling on screen as I speak. If you want to see content that tends to flop on here, that's more interesting and odd and random, then I highly recommend you go to my Patreon. I have about almost 4 years of back catalog. So there's a lot on there. You'll see me looking a lot dustier than I look now. I'll stop. Thank you. Bye.